Hello again everybody, back with another video. This time I'm looking at what they say is indications of the second wave in the fake bug act that's going on at the moment, pantomime, whatever you want to call it, and I'm just calling it's as fake as the first. And what I'm going to do is to look at what's going on in the moment in the UK. If those of you are not aware that they've got local increases in cases and local lockdowns, but they've also got these things called air bridges. So it kind of makes you think of wartime footing, doesn't it, with an air bridge to bring in supplies. But they have air bridges which allows people to fly to various countries. And what they've been doing at very short notice is actually removing them. But first, they let people go off on holiday, didn't they? And then they announced, without hardly any warning, that the air bridge is gone and everybody has to self-quarantine when they get back. And they'll have tit for tats, I assume, and other countries that have been taken off the air bridge will do the same to the UK. But it's all part of the script because there's no real sovereign type government over any country. They're just puppets basically, and those puppets are jumping to the tune of the elite that control them, and they control the whole world. But what it's done is maintain or increase the bug, the fake bug, in people's minds. Obviously sheeples think it's real, but it's also stirring up the pot of fear that's bubbling away inside people. Massive uncertainties about their holidays, what they're going to do when they come back and have to self-quarantine for 2 weeks. It's a nightmare, but they chose Spain, and you'll see they chose France because they are the biggest holiday destination for UK people, and it increases the misery. It'll probably wreck tourism and wreck foreign holidays, but I don't believe they actually want people flying around the world anymore. That's going to be reserved for the elite. But this is just the headlines back on the 26th of July when they suddenly announced Spain was back on the quarantine list because apparently it had lots of cases. And also we've recently had France to be added to the UK quarantine countries, and this guy got his script wrong, this puppet here, and got the wrong date for when it was being implemented. But of course it was done at a very short notice, and there was this scramble for people to try and get home before the deadline happened. And of course there's always a deadline, isn't there? There's always a date whereby all of a sudden the so-called coronavirus, the microscopic invisible bogeyman, there's always a date when it's going to start hurting people more. But it's interesting what I've discovered just looking at the number of cases and the number of deaths for these countries. And also we've had the Netherlands added as well. Came right on the weekend, so people have already been out there on hen parties, stag do's, you name it. And now that's on the quarantine. So anybody coming back has to quarantine for 14 days. And there's a bit of code here if you look. We've got cases or infections, as they're calling them here, surged by 66% in the past week. I've also added Monaco and Caribbean islands, a few of those as well, onto it. And of course, if you're going to create misery, you let the British people fly off to Spain and France, and just look at these numbers. Look at the amount of people that go to Spain and France. They're way, way the highest. Obviously, Spain's massive for UK visitors and France. So it's no coincidence that they've let people fly and then they've created these cases by probably doing lots more tests. And the tests aren't that accurate. They give false positives. They probably even make the bloody things up. They make plenty of other things up. And you can see there, ranks 1 and 2. So why did they choose Spain and France, I wonder? Maximum misery. They're getting people so miserable and worried that they will be queuing up for kilometres and kilometres or miles and miles to take that vaccine. And it's all about the vaccine. Now, this is Spain. So this is the one that happened on the 26th of July. So these graphs here are from Worldometer. And the top one you can see here is the number of cases per day. And what you can see from somewhere around the 8th of July to the 30th, so well over a month. So you would expect if there's a few days quarantine before the infection takes hold, that the deaths are going to start to spiral up. So just look at this portion here. And it's like a mirror image of when it's coming down. And when it was coming down like this, look at the daily deaths. So above 500 coming down to around about 100. So average probably around about 300 or something deaths per day. But wouldn't you expect with this deadly virus, if you've got cases, you'll get deaths, because they're telling us it's just as dangerous, and it's out there, as Boris Johnson says, circulating like a shark. Look at the daily deaths and look at the cases. Does that add up? Now, just out of interest, daily death rate, this is the normal death rate in Spain, is around 1150 per day. So again, they never got anywhere near that. Well, the natural deaths is here somewhere, look, and they were below it. They did get somewhere near it, but they were below it, and we'll see that that's the case. So look at this here, and where are the deaths? So all they're doing now, the second wave, is they're basing it on cases. They've scared the shit out of people with the initial first wave, with deaths, and they faked all the deaths. They also managed to diffuse some of the truthers' arguments around them faking or falsifying death certificates as the cause of death being COVID. But they cleverly admitted to that, but they said there's only 5,000. So in the UK, for example, there's only 5,000. Therefore, there's, instead of 50,000 deaths, there's actually 45,000 deaths. So now if you use that argument, the sheep will say, oh yeah, but they've admitted doing it. Well, yes, they've admitted doing it, but they've done it instead of 5,000, it's probably 50,000. I'm not saying that people haven't died. I think this whole pandemic can create an environment, especially for elderly people, where they give up the will to live. And I know certain medical procedures have been withdrawn for people in care homes and things like that. But you can see here something just doesn't add up. We've got cases, but we've got hardly any deaths. Now I just chose a little window here to show, and I'll show you how this works for the next two, where I just chose March the 9th there, because it was the same number of cases. Now you could say, well, yeah, the death rate's the same, but it was there, but this was at the start and it was taking off. So why hasn't it taken off here? It's like this in reverse. There were all these deaths. Why hasn't it? Doesn't add up. Now if we look at France, this one's really interesting. So this is the number of cases at the top, and these are the number of deaths. So taking August the 13th, which was the last day I could get when I did this a few days ago, we had, for example, 2,669 cases and corresponding 17 deaths. Now if we take that value back to right at the start, when we hit that value, it was around March the 24th, and we had 2,448 cases and 240 deaths. So that, as a death rate, is 240 divided by 2,448 times 100, which is 9.8%. Now, if we come across to here, we've got 2,669 and 17. That's 0.63%. So does that mean the virus is now 15.5% times, 15.5 times less deadly than it was? It would appear so. And also, we can do the same again. We've got these cases going up. I put a line across here, and I've chosen a section where the cases were coming down from the first wave. And you can see it's like a mirror image. But look at the deaths here, and then the deaths here. There's hardly any. So they've just switched to cases and the deaths have gone away. It's a nonsense. It's obvious that it's a complete pile of bullshit. And also France, their total death rate for the population is normally around 1,700 per day. There's 67 million. I think the death rate's something like 9 per 1,000 people. But look, they never actually went over it, did they? Because it's along here. So they were always, in all these countries, below the standard daily death rate. But look at the difference, guys. And now, if we take a look at the Netherlands, population, I think 17.3 million. And at the top here, we've got the daily cases. And we can see that we've done this for the so-called first wave. And now we've got this increase. So what I tried to do here is take this snapshot of time and put that area over where there's a similar number of cases, but it's going the other way. So you would expect, based on this and the deaths shooting up here, to have deaths similar to this here. But look how many deaths we've got, and look at the cases. Look at the cases here, look at the deaths here. And if we look at the numbers from, so if I drawn a line across here where the daily cases were 655, and I've gone to where they were around that level at the start, which is here, March 21st, August the 15th, and we look at what the death rates were, at the 21st of March the death rate was 30, and on the 15th of August the death rate's 2, but the same number of cases, and the cases are going up. And that's why they've stopped people being able to come back and go back home. They're having to quarantine. Well, they can go home, but they've got to quarantine for 14 days. But if we look at these figures as a percentage, death rate here is 4.7, death rate here is 0.3. Again, 15 times smaller. So is it 15.5 times less deadly than it was? Can't you see how fake this is, guys? It's as fake as FUCK. It really is. Look at it. Look at it. And of course, do more and more tests. And the test is probably gives lots and lots of false positives. It doesn't specifically look for if this thing was real, and I don't think viruses are real, full stop. But even if it was, the test doesn't even look for that particular virus. But just, to me, this just blows it out of the water. This is what they're wrecking people's holidays over, and people just can't see through it. So it doesn't take a lot of brains and much time to go and start to take the figures apart and show something like this. So, as I say, the second wave is as fake as the first. And you can see also down in the bottom left that the daily death rate for the Netherlands is around about 420 people per day, and they briefly peaked above 200. So again, they didn't go over the standard daily death rate. So convert some of your normal deaths, which are generally old people, to COVID deaths, and you have your so-called plandemic. So that's all I've got to say for now. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.